Almost. Everything truly ended that night. One more step, and Jungkook might have really lost Taehyung. Hello K-pop lovers, welcome back to the Taekook Diary channel Purple Heart. Today, I want to take you into a moment that not everyone noticed. A moment without shouting. Without explosive drama. But precisely because of that, it felt more real. Deeper. And far more painful. We all know how rumors move faster than the truth. One video clip. One captured expression. One sentence twisted out of context. And suddenly, the world creates its own conclusion. This time, once again, Jungkook's name was dragged first. Accusations came from every direction. Speculation grew wilder. And in the middle of all that noise, there was one thing that weighed the heaviest on him, the subtle change in Taehyung's eyes. Taehyung isn't the type to explode with anger. He's not someone who creates a scene in public. But that silence of his? It felt different. There was distance. A thin wall that had never been there before. And Jungkook, he could feel it. Imagine being in that position. The outside world pressing in from every direction. Comments flooding non-stop. And the one person who usually feels like home, suddenly feels just a little farther away. That night, the atmosphere was quiet. No bright spotlight. No loud crowd. Just two people standing with hearts that were equally heavy. Taehyung stood slightly turned away from Jungkook. His shoulders tense. His gaze no longer as warm as usual. It wasn't anger that showed, it was disappointment, and somehow, that hurt even more. Jungkook stayed silent for a few seconds. Not because he had no explanation. But because he knew this wasn't about defending himself. This was about the heart. Taehyung's steps slowly moved away. Not dramatic. Not rushed. But enough to make Jungkook's chest tighten. And for the first time in a long while, he looked genuinely afraid. Not afraid of rumors. Not afraid of public opinion. But afraid of losing someone. Losing the person who had become part of his rhythm. Part of his day. Part of how he breathes in a world that is too loud. In that moment, everything almost collapsed. Not because there was no love. But because the love was so big that even a small misunderstanding felt like a deep abyss when both hearts were already exhausted. And then, Jungkook did something that might have been the hardest thing for him. He chose to speak without a mask. Without ego. Without defense, with a voice that wasn't loud, but strong enough to stop Taehyung's steps, he said, "I never meant to hurt you." That was it. Not long. Not poetic. Not dramatic. Just honest. And that honesty stopped everything. Taehyung froze. Silence stretched for a few seconds that felt like forever. The night breeze moved softly around them. There were no cameras to prove anything to. No public to convince. Just two fragile hearts standing at the edge of loss. When Taehyung finally turned around, his expression shifted. The wall in his eyes began to soften. Because what he saw wasn't a harsh defense. It was vulnerable sincerity. Sometimes in a relationship, what we need isn't grand proof. Not long explanations. But a simple reassurance that the heart in front of us has never changed. And maybe that's what happened that night. The rumors were still there. The outside world was still loud. But between them, something returned to its place. Not because everything suddenly became perfect. But because they chose not to surrender to one misunderstanding. Jungkook almost lost Taehyung. That's not an exaggeration. That feeling was real. When someone who is always there suddenly feels distant, that's when you realize how precious they truly are. And maybe Taehyung felt it too. That behind all the noise, Jungkook was still the same person. Someone who may not always be good with words, but who always shows through actions. The embrace that night didn't need to be seen by the world. It didn't need to be posted. It didn't need to be announced. But the decision to stay, that was what truly mattered. As ARMY, we often see small fragments and try to build a big story from them. But we also need to remember, they are human. They get tired. They misunderstand. They get hurt. But they can also choose to come back. And that night, they chose to come back. Now I want to ask you something. If you were in Jungkook's position, what would you have done when the person who means the most to you starts to walk away because of rumors? Do you think one honest sentence is truly enough to save everything? Or do you believe something else matters even more in moments like that? Write your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to read your perspective, because every opinion matters. If you believe sincerity is always stronger than slander, press the like button right now as a sign of support. And don't forget to subscribe to Taekook Diary so we can continue talking, analyzing, and understanding every moment with calmer and more respectful hearts. Turn on notifications too, because here we don't just talk about drama. We try to see deeper than headlines. We try to understand the humans behind the spotlight. Because in the end, it's not rumors that decide how the story ends. It's the courage to speak honestly before it's too late. See you in the next video, ARMY. Borahi Purple Heart.